Hello. I wanted to record a video that walks through our new taste test price discovery platform. This is actually a pretty old idea of ours, dating back from before we even launched, when we were intending to launch our token this way. Unfortunately, at the time, we didn't really have the resources or the time to make it a reality. Now, with some helps from our friends over at Sundae Labs and some Catalyst Fund 10 funding, we're able to bring this to life. The taste test platform is a mechanism where a project and a community can negotiate on a fair initial price for that token. Let's walk through how it works real quick. So the idea is pretty simple, even if it can feel a little intimidating at times, but it is effectively the project offering some amount of their token and the community offering some amount of ADA to create the initial pool on a DEX like SundaeSwap. So walking through some example, imagine that a project contributes 100 million of their token. Our favorite example token is Arbery, and so I'll use an example that uses that as the token. Imagine then that collectively they have kind of a very small community and they've managed to contribute 20,000 ADA collectively. So this is the users or the community behind that token. This would effectively set the initial price at 0.0002 ADA per Arbery. Then the LP tokens from that initial pool creation would get split among everybody who had provided the funds for that. So half of it would go to the project who provided all of the tokens, and half of it would go to the community who provided all of the ADA. At the end, you end up with LP tokens in proportion to the value that you added to the pool. If instead the community, it was a much larger community or a more exciting launch or something like that, and imagine they raised 1.5 million ADA, that would effectively set the price to 0.015 ADA per Arbery. Let's see how that platform works in practice. Here is our preview network taste test with a concluded taste test and an ongoing one that I can walk you through. You can kind of read more about it and understand what the value that the taste test provides is. Some of this copy might change before we go live, but down here you can see we have a test version of Clarity. Clarity in the next couple of days is the first project that is going to use the taste test platform to launch. They are a DAO. So they're a DAO of DAOs where they offer kind of white label governance services to other projects on Cardano who don't want to build it themselves from scratch. So over here, I've already contributed to this, so I can click over and manage contribution. And from this page, you can kind of see information about Clarity and how the taste test is going. So there's about 20 hours left with a total of 241,000 ADA deposited. That means the price is around 0.0024 ADA per Clarity. And that's because, like in the example, Clarity will be providing 100 million tokens to this taste test. You can see how that has impacted the price over time as people deposit and withdraw. You can see the total ADA deposited over time. And you can see information about the team, their website, their white paper, the vesting schedule that they're reporting. I think this is just dummy data. We haven't filled in the real data yet, and information about their tokenomics. Over here, you can see a history of your contributions. I've been testing it, so you can see a couple here. But I can also either, this is where you would add more or change your contribution. I've gone ahead and switched to a wallet while the recording was paused that hasn't contributed to this taste test. So if I go here and I want to add, I have 192 ADA in this wallet, so I'm going to just deposit 100 ADA. And this will predict the fees and the estimated value of your LP tokens if the taste test were to close kind of right after your deposit. That still may fluctuate as other people deposit or withdraw. So it's just an estimate to give you a sense, but it looks like as of right now, I would get LP tokens that are worth 50 ADA and about 20,000 Clarity. And so if I kind of click this acknowledgement and I go ahead and confirm and continue, it'll prompt you to sign this transaction. you'll see 100 ADA go into this script. You might also see, the way that these scripts work is they maintain a linked list on chain. And so you might also see somebody else's contribution. You're just inserting yourself in the list after them. So if you see kind of a large amount here, that's nothing to worry about. You should look for your amount in this list. So then I can go ahead and provide my signing password and sign the transaction. And that's going to go ahead and submit this. Now we haven't quite seen it on chain yet, so it'll show it in this pending state. And then once it confirms, which I'll pause the recording until that happens, and that's settled on chain. So now you can see that I've deposited 100 ADA. Over here, you can see the real-time view of that price. And one thing that, if I go back to our explanation here, it's really important to understand why, in principle, this taste test works to identify a price for the market. So if you imagine that partway through the taste test, there's, like our example above, 20,000 ADA deposited. If a rational actor really believes that the price of this token, the fair market value for this token, is above that price, then there's an easy arbitrage opportunity. So what they can do is they can deposit funds into this taste test. If the taste test settles below the fair market value, then once that trading picks up and finds that fair market value from people buying and selling the token, then it will in theory settle at a price above what they participated with. Now, obviously that's only true if this rational actor is correct, but this kind of leverages the wisdom of the masses to identify what that price is, because there's this economic incentive to be as close to that price as possible. If instead the taste test is oversubscribed and maybe there's 3 million ADA against this R-berry, and the market doesn't really value the token at that price, then a rational actor who knows that, or who can kind of evaluate the fair market value of that token, avoids 50 ADA in loss in this example by not participating in the taste test. So this is really important. Most sales, everybody looks at them as, this is my chance to get in early, but this is not a sale, it's a price discovery event. And so it's not your only opportunity to get this token. And if you feel that the value of this token is less than what that current price is, then you can just wait until the pool opens or the price settles back down to what the fair market value is and buy then. So because there are these two kind of competing forces on the market, this drives, it's not going to be perfect, but it drives the discovered price of the taste test towards what the market actually values that token at. So because of that, we also allow you to withdraw. So if one feature that we have here is I can set my own target price. And this is really just an accounting mechanism for yourself. So if you want to kind of keep track of what you've valued the Clarity token at, you can enter that amount. So maybe I value it at 0.0015. And I save that. And actually that's a little bit smaller than I intended. I think here is where I wanted to set it. So maybe this, is a bit oversubscribed for me. I don't quite think that this is worth that amount. Again, this is all just test data. It's just people playing around. So this doesn't imply anything about the actual price of the Clarity token. That's on you all, the community, to decide. But just in this toy example, I may want to withdraw. And so I can go ahead and do that. Now, one thing to note is because of last minute, to prevent last minute price manipulation, where somebody withdraws a bunch of ADA right at the last second, there is a pretty stiff penalty in the last 24 hours where you will forfeit 25% of your deposit. So, you're welcome to participate more in that last 24 hours, but, by the time that 24 hours hits, make sure that you are really confident in whether you want to participate at that price or not. And this should help drive it towards kind of converging on a price within the. I think Clarity is going to run their taste test for 9 days. So I'm not going to go ahead and go through with the withdrawal here, but I can show you all the way up to creating the transaction. And then you could see here that your funds, which were this 105 ADA, are going to get withdrawn, and a portion paid back to you and a portion kind of forfeited to this penalty address. Now, give me a second to switch back to that other wallet. All right, I'm on this other wallet. Once the taste test is concluded, it'll show up here under concluded taste tests. And we've had a bunch that we've been testing with. Or it will show up here, and you can claim your LP tokens. So this is from a previous taste test where I tested this end to end. And I deposited 1,000 ADA, and now I have LP tokens that at the time that the pool opened, they were worth 500 ADA and some amount of Clarity. A bunch of trading has happened against this pool since. And so I now, they're worth a little bit more ADA and a little bit less Clarity than that time. But I can go ahead and claim those LP tokens. And that's going to go ahead. You can see here, it spends this script input, and I get those 49 billion LP tokens, which, like I said, are worth, just in this example data, about 2,700 ADA, plus the Clarity tokens. And if I enter in my spending password here and submit that, that's going to go ahead and claim those LP. I can also click to view that transaction. And so as soon as this settles on the blockchain, it'll be visible on your favorite explorer and in your wallet. And I'll go ahead and pause until that has settled on the blockchain. Cool, that didn't take long at all. So I've successfully claimed my tokens. I think we still need to work a little bit on this because it's still thinking I have tokens to claim. But if I open up that transaction from before and I refresh, I can now see that I have those LP tokens in my wallet. So we hope that this overview of the taste test process was informative and helps you understand how and why you might want to participate in any of the taste tests that are launching soon. If you forget any of this or you want to kind of be walked through it again, we're actually excited to show off this new feature as well down here, where we have these new guided tutorials for the Sundae website, and 2 of them are about the taste test. So one of them will just explain to you what the taste test is and kind of try to break it down in the same way that I did in this video. And the other one will actually walk you through how to understand that UI. So if I click here and I click Let's Get Started, it'll show me step by step where all of the relevant pieces of information for the taste test are. And then when you're done, it's all marked as completed. So there are also several other guides that you can walk through if you want to learn more about Sundae. These, have just been drafted, so there may be some issues with them. If you find any issues in the wording or something isn't clear, feel free to raise it with us. We'd be more than happy to update the language there. Great. Hopefully this video was helpful and informative and helps you make a decision on whether you personally want to participate in that upcoming taste test for Clarity DAO.